Hello everyone. Let's start with this scenario. You are in the weekly engineering review. Your manager is presenting to the VP. Slide 3. And you feel it before you even consciously register it. That's the system design you sketched out. There's the architecture decision you wrote up in the Confluence 2 weeks ago. There's the latency fix you proposed in the infra thread. It's all three. Same diagram, same trade off, same justification. And your name is nowhere on the deck. So, what do you actually do now? Do you type into the meeting Slack, hey, I actually wrote that? Do you raise your voice in the mid presentation? Do you even DM your manager after and ask what happened? Or do you close your laptop, tell yourself the work got just shipped away and go back to your ID? Chalta hai yaar. Most engineers choose that last one. I get it. It feels safer. It's not. That's where silence compounds. Here is what actually happening. Nobody is running a heist. What actually happens is you mention your idea in a one-on-one. Your manager mentions it in their one-on-one with their manager. Their manager likes it. Someone builds a deck. And somewhere in that chain of telephone, you name just your name just falls off. The idea survives. The attribution doesn't. And the outcome is the same whether it was deliberate or not. Someone else gets the credit for thinking you did. So when your ideas travel without your name on them, you lose something that actually hard to recover. The people making decisions about who gets the senior role, who gets put on the high impact project, who gets the seat in the architecture review, they are making those calls based on who they think doing the right strategic thinking. If that thinking reached them under someone else's name, they are thinking of someone else. That's not a feelings problem. That's a career infrastructure problem. And you won't be surprised this problem is 130 years old. And here's the thing. It's not remote work. It's not your company's particular dysfunction. 130 years ago, the best electrical engineer alive was dealing with the exact same situation. And what he did, and specifically what he failed to do, is probably the most technical case study on this topic that ever existed. So I hope you know Nikola Tesla. So Nikola Tesla showed up in New York in 1884 with four cents, one bag, and a letter of introduction to Thomas Edison. The letter basically said, I know two great men. You are one of them. The other is carrying this letter. Tesla was not a marketer. He was an engineer. He believed the work would speak for itself. That assumption cost him everything. He did not improve the existing system, but what happened is more interesting. What Tesla built was not an incremental improvement on Edison's work. He invented alternating current, the entire electrical distribution model that powers every building on the earth right now. AC motors, transformer, and other systems with over 300 patents. This was not a feature PR. This was a full system rewrite from scratch. And he did it while working inside someone else's organization, on someone else's payroll. But here's where Tesla made the architectural error that defined his career. He shared his ideas completely in conversations, in live demos, in published paper without ever building a protective documentation trail first. No RFC doc before the meeting. No timestamp design write up before the verbal walkthrough. He assumed that because he could demonstrate mastery, attribution would be automatic. But in an ideal system, it would be. In a real organization, it never is. So Thomas Edison was not running a comp. He would build Menlo Park Basically, the world's first industrial R&D lab, specifically designed to convert the contribution of many engineers into the IP of the organization. Let's not go much deeper, but let's try to understand this. When Tesla's ideas entered that machine, the machine processed them exactly like everything else. It stripped the attribution, attached the Edison brand, and output a patent. Not a malice, just an architecture. Sounds familiar? So Edison once told Tesla he would pay $50,000 if Tesla could improve the efficiency of his DC generators. This is the interesting one. Tesla spends months on it, shipped improvements across 24 separate machine designs, measurable, documented engineering results. And when he asked for the money, Edison reportedly told him he did not understand American humor, that it was a joke. So Tesla resigned, no payment, without any acknowledgement, just only the work he had, what he did with it. So what followed was basically a product war fought with PR and politics. Edison has DC power, his system has been. By the time Tesla secured backing from Westinghouse and proved AC power at World's Fair organization, he would won the technical battle. But in the attribution battle, but the attribution battle was already over. The name attached to the electrical age was not his. He died alone in a hotel in 1943. Patents got expired, work largely buried under a century of someone else's narrative. So Tesla was right about AC power, right about the physics, right about the future. But we can say not right about one thing, that being technically correct would be enough. So in any organization you can see, then or now, being right and being seen as a source of what's right are two completely different problems. And if you don't actively manage the second one, the first one is not going to save you. This is for sure. So here's your playbook. Five moves. Each one a direct fix to a specific mistake Tesla made. These are not frameworks you will forget by Friday or by next day. They are the things you can do starting with your next design documentation, next presentation, next meeting, whatsoever you can just consider. Let's go through them. First move. Tesla's core mistake was presenting mastery live in person, in demos, without ever creating a written, dated, attributable record first. So your equivalent today is verbal architecture reviews, Slack DMs, or casual conversation where you talk, where you walk with someone through your thinking before you have written it down anywhere. So the fix is you need to write the design doc, the confluence page, the RFCs, or even a structured DM, so that we can have a proof at least what we are just targeting for. And in near future, we can just show them or to the concerned person that particular proof uh, with the timestamp, which is considering as a record. Now, here's the exact copy. Before any important technical decision is going to make, just send this. Hey, before our call today, I wrote up my thinking on the architectural approach. Happy to iterate it on it together. Then attach the documentation. That's it. So you have not been defensive. You have not signaled distrust. You have just created a timestamp record in an email or a DM way or a Slack that no one can change after that fact. And this is going to consider a concrete evidence for your future meetings or discussions. Second move, when you present an idea in a meeting or a review, don't just present the idea. Use possessive language directly or naturally. The approach I have used, so you can just use like that. The approach I have been working through, the pattern I have spotted in our latency data, the solution I proposed in the doc I shared Tuesday. You are not filing a patent. You're maintaining the connection between the idea and the person who built it. That connection does not maintain itself. So here's the difference. Instead of saying we should use event-driven architecture here, you can just say the approach I have been working through uses event-driven architecture, and here is why I landed. So you are getting my point. Why having a reason for why is going to be a major walkthrough for you. Instead of saying we could reduce latency by pre-computing at the edge, you can say I ran some load testing this week and I think pre-computing at the edge solves our P90. Same technical content, but different way to present it. The first version ships your idea and offense. Move 3. So Tesla's critical error was that his ideas entered Edison's machine with no external record that they were his. Nothing in the system pointing back to. No one is going to prove Tesla's solution. Your equivalent is sharing an idea verbally with your manager and having nothing in writing that shows it originated with you before they look into leadership. What's the fix? So before the idea travels, make sure it has a paper trail that goes back to you, a reply to the doc you sent, a comment in the conference, a reaction from a colleague in the channel, responses that create a visible chain of attribution before your manager takes it up to the VP. Specific tactic inside move 3. Before sharing an idea with your manager, what you can do, you can loop in one peer whose opinion your manager respects. But it will be very difficult, or vice versa, based on your connection with that peer. Not to ask permission, to create a witness. I have been thinking through this approach to the auth service redesign. This can be an example. Would you take a look before I bring it to the team? Now, there is a second person in the org who can independently confirm yes, the engineer or this engineer was developing this thinking. That's not a politics. That's just good version control of your contribution. So, move forward. Move forward, you can just consider here. Move forward, you can just consider when it already happened. When your approach is in someone else's tech with their name on it. Here is the move. Not confrontation. Not confrontation. Clarification. So, in the next relevant meeting, you can just say, hey, glad that architecture direction resonated. I have been developing it further and I have some additional thinking on the edge cases if it would be helpful or useful to walk through. So you have not accused anyone of anything. You have just reinserted yourself as the ongoing owner of that thinking. That's the move. So after the meeting, send this to your group. Following up on today's discussion, as I mentioned, I have been developing this approach over the past few weeks. Here is the extended write-up, including the edge cases I have been working with. Happy to walk anyone through it. So you have created a new attributable record. You have been professional and collaborative as well. And you have made it possible for anyone in that thread to claim they did not know who originated the thinking. That's a major setback. Move 5. So the most durable protection idea, again getting stolen, is a reputation so clearly attached to a way of thinking that it becomes impossible to separate. You don't need to be famous. You need to be the person who has already written the RFC that everyone references, who comments on architectural decision outside your immediate team, who runs the postmortem review that other teams start borrowing. When your thinking style is recognizable, When your thinking style is recognizable, attribution becomes automatic, even when you are not in the room. Tesla, toward the end of his life, understood exactly what he had done wrong. So he started writing more, giving more interviews, trying to attach his name on his work retrospectively. But the machine had already done. His contribution had been processed and rebranded. The lesson is not complicated. Document before you share. Use your name in the book. Build a chain of attribution before the idea starts traveling. Don't let it go get into pipeline unnamed. So here is what sits underneath of all this. Most organizations are not designed to track attribution accurately. Ideas move through one-on-one, Slack DM, meeting summits. The person who presents clearly gets the credit, not the person who thought first. This is not, let me repeat. The person who presents clearly gets the credit, not the person who thought first. This is not a culture problem that leadership is going to fix with a new value statement. It's a system design problem. And the answer to a system design problem is to engineer around it, not to wait and hope the system self corrects. Now, the harder case. What if your manager is not accidentally absorbing your ideas? What if this is a consistent pattern? Here is where the line is. If you have applied moves 1 through 3 and the attribution still disappears every time, you have a manager problem, not an idea sharing problem. The playbook changes at that point. You go wider before the next idea leaves your hands. You build direct relationship with the engineers and leads above your manager's layer before the idea travels. Not to go around them, to diversify the witness. And if you are the manager, you are the person presenting the team's work to leadership. This episode is directly for you. The engineers on your team are watching how to handle attribution in those rooms. So when you say this is the approach my team developed, led by this engineer, you are not diminishing your own contribution. You are building a team that will keep bringing you ideas worth presenting. The alternative is a team that stops sharing the good stuff with you. Now, one more real thing. Not every unattributed idea needs a reclamation campaign. If the idea was minor, if the relationship was important and fragile, if the political cost of reclaiming it exceeds the actual career value of the attribution, sometimes the right call is to document it privately, recognize the pattern, and invest your energy in protecting the next thing that matters. Knowing which battles to pick is also a senior engineering skill. Getting my point? So, your framework. First, document before you share work. Create a timestamp based record. Second, use possessive language in live seconds. Attach your name to your thinking in real time. Third, build external acknowledgement before the idea travels up the chain. Fourth, when it's already happened, reclaim through clarification, not confrontation. Fifth, build a thinking reputation so recognizable that attribution becomes automatic. Tesla had none of this. You have all fun. Decoded engineer. So this is where we are. Timeless case studies where you meet your next sprint. So the Tesla gave the world its electrical infrastructure. He observed to be credited as its architect. You deserve the attribution in that meeting. With this framework, you will have it next time. Subscribe for more episodes where we take the oldest problems or the past problems in engineering and extract the exact moves that fix them. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.